Hey friends, how are we? Thank you for joining me for another LEGO set review. This one is The Way. This is the Mandalorian helmet, one of several that have been released. This came out 2022, retailed for 60 bucks. I actually got it used at Bricks Minifigs for 35. If you check your local B&M, I'm sure you can find one too. I'm a big fan of this one. In fact, I'm going to go on a limb and say it's my favorite of the helmet sets. And I do have the Boba Fett helmet. I'm going to do a separate comparison between the two, but today we're going to be talking about this set here. Retailed for 60 bucks, in case you didn't know. And the piece count for this is 584. And this is 18 and up. Well, anyone can build it, but it's meant for an adult display type of deal. And we're going to talk about it. It's pretty awesome. Big fan of this one. Love the Mandalorian show, and this is just right up my alley. It's just fantastic all around. There's no minifigure with this set, like all the helmets. I complained in the past about the helmet sets being awesome, of course, but there was no minifig included to represent the character. And it used to bother me a lot. Now it doesn't really bother me that much. It's not really a necessity. It's something that could have been in these sets, but since they're not, it's fine. You can get the figures elsewhere. But I'll give you a quick 360-degree view of the Mandalorian helmet. I love this thing. I had a blast building it. I rebuilt it when I bought it, or after I bought it, and I had a great time. The stand is the same as all of the helmet sets. We'll start with the stand first. You've got one printed piece, which is unique to this set. Well, each helmet has their own one, but this one, of course, says Lego Star Wars The Mandalorian, of course, nameplate, and it's pretty great. Printed very nicely. The stand is kind of a basic design. You got like this, it reminds me of a trapezoid, but it is a square platform with a lot of, sharp triangular shapes. Here's the bottom. Nothing too special there. Now, what's different about this helmet is the helmet. What's different about this set is, of course, the helmet shape. This is the Mandalorian's helmet, or Din Djarin's, helmet from the show. And I think they did a phenomenal job capturing it. Just look, it's so spot on. Maybe it would have been a little bit better if the entire helmet was dark gray, because in the Mandalorian show, his helmet is a darker gunmetal color, darker gray. But I understand them wanting to make it a little bit lighter to make it stand out a little bit from the other helmets, which are mostly black and sometimes dark gray. So I guess that makes sense that it's not that color. It just would have been a little bit more accurate, but I can understand why they went with this lighter color, because my favorite part of this set is all of these, not chrome, close enough, drum lacquered shiny silver elements. And I counted, there are approximately 56 of these shiny silver pieces all around the helmet, which just give it this amazing, shiny, fancy quality. So you can see the lighting is changing a little bit. I apologize. But just all around, these pieces just really make this model pop. Especially from the front, where you've got this entire section up here is just covered in these rounded silver shiny parts. And it just makes it look so distinctive, so elegant, and so unique, in my opinion. It just makes it pop. It makes it fresh, have a cool look to it. Got them on the cheeks as well. And I just think it's really successful, the way that they put all these pieces, like sprinkle them all around it. Obviously, ideally, you would want the Mandalorian helmet to be just covered in these silver pieces, but I understand why they didn't do that, because it is extremely expensive to make chrome Lego pieces and similarly silver, spray painted pieces. So, or drum lacquered elements, I should say, to be more professional. It's more expensive to make those, so I understand why there's only 56 on this model. Still, they used a lot of them, and they really make the model look just great, in my opinion. Super, super nice. There's no features to this thing, of course. It's being a helmet set. There is no feature. Well, the Boba Fett helmet has the rangefinder antenna, up and down feature. This one has none of that. it's just a helmet, you know. There's no action feature or anything. It's meant to just look good from afar. And in this case, it does its job really well. I love the way that they built these cheek areas. You can see, if I am able to, you know, focus, you can see these like concave areas. It's very like 3D, and the shaping is excellent. You can see this slit for the visor. It's very well done. I also really like these side panels because they jut out from the main model, but not too much, just enough to make it look, you know, bulky like it should. And I really like the smoothness of the back. You can see almost no studs on the back, just all these smooth, you know, curved parts just make the back of this with the vent and the more of those shiny parts, and leads up to the studs really well. I like the studs being on here. It gives it a Lego look, you know. If there wasn't any studs, obviously, you know, you probably wouldn't know this was a Lego model, but I'm not afraid of Lego studs. I think they're great, especially on these helmets. I think they really stand out. But I think the part that stands out the most to me, and you may agree, disagree, whatever, depends on what you care for. I think the visor area for the Mandalorian helmet is the cleanest, most consistent, and most visually pleasing visor I have seen on one of these helmets thus far. It is practically perfect in my opinion. You've got the straight T shape going from the sides of the helmet, wrapping around, going down, and going down like straight. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's just so, like, it's so consistently well done. Like, it looks really well done, and it was fun to build too. Unfortunately, my issue with the Boba Fett helmet is the visor area is a bit flawed. It doesn't look nearly as good when you look at it close as from afar. But when you look at this Mandalorian helmet close, in my opinion, it looks just as good as if you look at it from far away. And they just did a great job making sure that this thing looks good from pretty much every single angle. And it really reminds me of something else that I love, which is knight helmets and medieval culture. And to me, the side of this particularly looks like a knight helmet. And I just thought that was really cool. And it's probably just me because I love knights, but I just saw that in the helmet and I can't unsee it. I just think it looks superb. The way that they captured the visor is just great. And I know technically this lower section is supposed to be much like thinner, because if you know the Mandalorian helmet and design, it's supposed to be a lot like skinnier and narrower at the front here. But I think they did as good of a job as they possibly could without making sure that these cheek areas wouldn't flop around. Because if I feel like if these were narrower, then the cheek areas would be looser and they would flop around and they wouldn't like stick in place like they do here. And that reminds me of another pro. This is one of the most durable sets I have ever built. Like there's no flopping around, there is no loose pieces, no bad friction, no, you know, cracked parts. This is one of the most solid helmets. You can pick it up and just feel the weight. There's a lot of pieces in these things. And people who have complained that haven't built one of these helmets before, you know, yeah, these look small. They're like palm sized, which is fine to me. And there's just so much that goes into it. It almost feels like a BrickHeadz. If you build a BrickHeadz model, these are built like that, where you have a central structure. It's like a BrickHeadz box, and you build all of these different sub-assemblies around it. It's really cool. You build all of these different sections, you put them on, and every single section is very, like, it's very different. It keeps it engaging, you know? You would think this helmet being as boring as it looks, color-wise, grays and silvers and blacks, you would think it'd be a boring building experience, but actually, if you actually take the time to build this and look at the instructions and have a go at it, it's actually quite interesting the way that they build it. And I love the design. I'm really happy I was able to get it for such a good price. And whoever had it before me treated it really well, because it's fantastic, and it's going to go next to the Razor Crest, and I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm just really happy with this set overall. I would highly recommend this model. In fact, I think it's probably one of the more popular of the Star Wars helmet sets, just because of the Mandalorian, and the design of the set and design of the helmet, and also all of these amazing silver pieces, of course, playing a big role as well. That's probably something that is appealing as well. Big fan of this one. I love this helmet. Love it. It's fantastic all around. I have nothing bad to say, really. I don't think I've said anything terribly bad. Um, you know, it's just a great model overall and a solid looking piece. But let me know what you think of the Mandalorian helmet. Let me know down below. What is your favorite helmet of these Star Wars set? This helmet sets, Star Wars sets. Yeah. Let me know down below. I'd love to know that. Have a discussion with you. And look for a comparison between this and the Boba Fett one very soon. And more Mandalorian set reviews coming in the future. And I will see you for those. Thank you for watching. Again, leave your thoughts, good or bad, down below. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Take care. This is the way.